watching Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Androlonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on Twin Tiers Evening News. Cattaraugus County is on stable financial ground, according to the county's top financial man. WVTT's Valerie Tysaner is live in the WVTT digital newsroom. Last night's county legislature meeting brought some good news, didn't it, Val?
Yeah, Jeff, you know, that's absolutely right. I talked to Joe Keller, the county treasurer, today, who says that after last night's annual report, he's happy to say that the county is on very good ground financially.
The county is a business, you know, just like any private business. And so what you do is you need a cushion to operate. And what that does is there are many months during the year, let's say we'll go November, December, January, where the revenues coming into the county are very low or sometimes almost non-existent. And in those periods of time, you still have to pay your bills, you still have the payrolls that are going out. For the 2013 budget, I believe the taxes went up slightly over 2%. But also a part of the budget for the 2013 year is that we did allocate roughly $3 million out of this fund balance I just gave you to help offset the costs.
Keller says the fund balance for the county is a little over $31 million, and that's an increase of nearly $3.5 million since the previous year. He says the figure that most people are most interested in is the undesignated fund balance, and he said right now it's at a little over $24 million. Keller says that figure is at 15% of the 2012 budget and does fall under the guidelines set by the New York State Comptroller's Office. The undesignated fund balance does mean that this money is money that the county can use if they're not getting enough revenue from other sources, and he said it's nice just to have a little bit of a cushion. In the WVTT digital newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Val. Nice to hear about that cushion for Cat County. And for more details, including a look at the numbers, you can visit our website. That's WVTTnews.com. Alexa?
Well, Jeff, students and staff at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford are on spring break right now, but officials are investigating an alleged hazing incident. We're hearing that a girl pledging a sorority was taken to a cemetery, blindfolded, and then a noose was placed around her neck. She was told to trust the sorority sisters to save her. A campus spokesperson tells the Bradford Era that UPitt Bradford is unable to confirm that anything happened because no one is willing to come forward with information.
A New York cop has been found guilty in a cannibalism plot. Police tell WVTT Gilberto Valley was found guilty in a Manhattan court for accessing a crime database to locate a victim to kidnap, rape, torture, kill, and eat. The FBI learned that Valley was sending messages to co-conspirators to perform the deed, and a court-ordered search of his computer revealed more than 80 files of women with photos and personal details. Valley told the judge that the whole thing was a fantasy role-playing scenario, but his defense was not enough to stop that conviction.
City police and Olean lawmakers are now on common ground as a 2-year standoff in contract negotiations has been resolved. City lawmakers all agreed to a 4-year contract with the two police unions. The police force will get a 3% pay raise for the coming year and the next. The contract does require the officers to pay more in health insurance contributions. It will also be retroactive back to 2010. Both the mayor and the police union reps are happy with the agreement.
An alleged assault at the Smethport High School doesn't warrant felony charges. That according to the McKean County DA's office. Felony charges of burglary and aggravated assault against 20-year-old Vincent Gagliardi of Mount Jewett were withdrawn this week for lack of evidence. But Gagliardi still faces charges of simple assault, disorderly conduct, and harassment in connection with the February 12th incident. Now, according to records, Gagliardi and 35-year-old Cheryl Hamilton of Smethport were allowed into the school to go to a locker used by Hamilton's daughter. Instead, the two allegedly went to the rear entrance of the school at the end of the day, where Gagliardi allegedly punched a 16-year-old student in the head multiple times. He's been the mayor of Lewis Run for 56 years, and now Albert Montecalvo is done. He's preparing to step down. Now, at first, officials were concerned no one stepped forward to run for the vacant post. Now, the mayor's nephew, Vince Montecalvo, says he'll run. He's filed the only petition to seek the position of mayor in Lewis Run Borough. The younger Montecalvo says he hates to see his uncle go. In fact, he says he tried to talk him out of it. Vince has served on borough council for 20 years, and he does come with a glowing endorsement from his 91-year-old uncle mayor. Yard sailors in Cuba, look out. You could be going to jail. How's that going to happen? Well, village trustees voted to limit yard sales, the length of the sale, the number of sales, and how signs can be displayed. A number of complaints about extended and untidy yard sales in the village of Cuba were the fuel for that decision. Now, violators of the new restrictions could face 15 days in jail and a $250 fine. The mayor says the point of the new rules is that there were residents having a yard sale every day, and there was never a rule on the books to enforce the issue. Trustees say that while many long-term yard sailors are upstanding citizens who keep neat and tidy sales, there are problem yard sailors in the village that have generated a number of complaints.
Victims of domestic violence may be safer after a new program from the New York Department of State. The Address Confidentiality Program is designed to shield the actual addresses of domestic violence victims from their abusers. Victims who opt in would provide a substitute address maintained by the Department of State for receipt of all first-class registered and certified mail, and the correspondence would be forwarded to their actual mailing address.
Changes in hard cider laws could be a boost to New York apple growers. U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer says that the new plan will allow over 650 apple growers to expand their business as they add hard ciders to their product line. The alcohol content of hard cider fluctuates because of sugar content, and the current laws mean that it's taxed at a higher rate. The Cider Act, and yes, that's an acronym, the Cider Investment and Development Through Excise Tax Reduction, will adjust the definitions of apple and pear cider so that it will allow for the fluctuation in alcohol content. Schumer says that New York is the second largest apple producer in the country, and there's no doubt it should be at the core, pardon the pun, of the hard cider industry, which is rapidly growing in popularity.
A burning ban is in effect for the next couple of months. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation says outdoor brush burning in residential areas is now prohibited March 16th through May 14th. That time period is considered to be the high-risk wildfire season. Back in 2009, New York restricted open burning to help prevent wildfires and lower the amount of air pollutants. Residential bush burning is allowed for most of the year in towns with less than 20,000 residents, but during the early spring, when most wildfires happen in New York, all open burning is banned. Garbage burning is prohibited at all times in New York State.
The Bradford man accused of shooting a child in the chest with a BB gun is having his charges bound over to court. Police tell WVTT 27-year-old Skylar Rose Unger is charged with assault and endangering the welfare of a child for shooting an 8-year-old in the chest with a BB gun. Police say the shot broke the skin and left a bleeding wound. He was released on unsecured bail, and he'll have those charges bound over to McKean County Court.
Medical professionals often warning about the dangers of tanning beds, but I don't think this kind of danger is what they're talking about. Becky's Boutique in Kane was the scene of a fire when a tanning bed started smoking as a result of a transformer malfunction. Kane Volunteer Fire Department responded to get that situation under control. They got there in time, keeping the tanning bed from bursting into flames and ejecting the smoke from the shop. Jeff.
Alexa, lots more news still to come on Twin Tiers Evening News. Our WVTT information overload is straight ahead, and also our first look at weather. Stay tuned. This is News Channel 25 WVTT.